Hello, my name is Brandon Quesada-Amor, and this is my Just Talk. To most individuals, the minimum wage sounds like a good policy. After all, who doesn't like a guaranteed wage increase? And if it can help the poorer wage earners by increasing their wages, then what is there to hate about it? However, it is not that simple. When most people analyze the minimum wage, they make a grave mistake. They forget that labor is a scarce commodity like anything else on the market, and is thus subject not only to the laws of supply and demand, but also the unintended effects of price floors. First, we must define a minimum wage. A minimum wage is the lowest remuneration that employers can legally pay their employees, or the price floor below which employees may not sell their labor. Like any other scarce commodity on the market, the price of labor, or the wage rate, is determined by supply and demand. A decline in the labor supply will lead to an increase in wages, and an increase in labor supply will lead to a decrease in wages. Conversely, a decline in labor demand will lead to a decrease in wages, and an increase in labor demand will lead to an increase in wages. Now, what is a price ceiling? A price ceiling is defined as a government-imposed price control that limits how low the price of a commodity can be. What are the effects of a price ceiling? A price ceiling, when set above the equilibrium price, will lead to the quantity supply exceeding the quantity demanded. In the case of the labor market, a price ceiling above the equilibrium price will lead to a decrease in labor demanded by employers and an increase in labor output per worker. The result of this is unemployment. Who suffers the blight of unemployment the most? Low-skilled, low-wage earning employees. Ironically, the group of people proponents of the minimum wage seek to help out. Low-skilled workers receive lower wages, as low-skilled labor is most accessible and more replaceable than more high-skilled forms of labor. When the minimum wage is heightened, the labor output per worker increases, while the labor demanded by the employers decreases. But what about observational studies? There are some studies that minimum wage advocates cite as proof that the minimum wage has positive economic effects and has little impact on employment. These studies are flawed because observational studies cannot establish causal relationships, only correlations. Creating a controlled experiment is necessary in order to establish a causal relationship, which requires holding all independent variables constant. This is feasible for the natural sciences, but not the social sciences. Constructing a controlled experiment where all real-world factors, including economic legislation, consumer preferences, the possible increase in prices, preferences for employees, and geopolitical situations are all held equal and accounted for is impossible. Thus, all that minimum wage advocates have as proof of the minimum wage benefits are observational studies, and even those are invalid because they cannot distinguish causation from causality. Even if we at least considered the validity of those studies, which is suspect, they are sporadic, infrequent, and local instances that are challenged by larger scale studies, such as the minimum wage study conducted in American Samoa and the Northern Mariana Islands, which demonstrate that an increase in the minimum wage results in unemployment. It is easy to say that an increase in the minimum wage leads to unemployment. However, the solution that is demonstrated by this fact is to abolish the minimum wage. Abolishing the minimum wage is the only logical proposal. Because the minimum wage raises unemployment, the only possible solution would thus be to abolish the minimum wage. And so, I propose abolishing the minimum wage. Thank you.